almost gone.
Sorry for boring you to death, guys. I got 1 minute left here. Absolutely delighted to have a Q&A starting right after the credits roll with director Tom Stern. Give it up for Tom. We got a guy called Gibby Haynes in the crowd. Another randomer called Paul Leary. Where are they? That Q&A is going to be hosted by Fred Passero from Cream Magazine. And now I'm going to hand over to the leading director.
Thank you. Thank you, Brooklyn, for coming out. This is fitting because back in 2020, 6 years ago, I started interviewing Gibby Haynes, Brooklyn residents in Red Hook, and we have come full circle to offer the film to you here. I hope you'll love it and stick around for the Q&A. And we got merch out front, t-shirts, posters. Great poster by Johnny Ryan. And I hope you love the film. And we'll talk to you afterwards. And then we'll be hanging out in the bar for a while, too. Thank you, everyone. Check. Okay.
Microphone is not on.
Fred. How you doing?
Right, Gibby, hold. Go for it.
Gibby Haynes, Paul Leary. Fred Passero from Cream Magazine.
First of all, how amazing was that, guys? Unbelievable, so fun. Where do we even start? Let's start with Tom here. The thing that jumps out about this film for me is the archival is totally insane. It's like wall-to-wall archival. How much were you digging to get all of this stuff?
Well, it took a long time, for everything to come out of the woodwork, and we found gems here and there. But one of the great discoveries was their classmate at Trinity University, Eddie Hardin, who was a film student and shot their early rehearsals and their first ever shows on Super 8 film. Their first shows were at an art gallery in San Antonio. I think Gibby was showing his art, but the band played, and then we found the famous Danceteria footage, which was amazing, from the guy who was the sound man and had a camera, and some stuff from their European label Blast First, some B-roll that was great. So yeah, that was crucial.
Yeah, and so I would imagine that there's like a longer cut or something like that to get to this cut. That a lot of stuff was kind of on the cutting room floor. Was there anything that maybe you wish fit in here that didn't?
Tons of stuff. There was tons of stuff. I shot a whole cold opening with Chris Kirkwood from the Meat Puppets, revolving in outer space. That was a good idea, but didn't quite work.
There's a bunch of true stuff you could have included.
Well, I didn't want any truth in there. Like what? The barbecue sauce?
Okay, amazing. So,
there's enough for a mini series, for sure. The first cuts were hours and lots of amazing, great stuff. But you have to kind of deal with the human attention span, which.
Yeah, let's go.
Where are you? Where's Mr. Netflix?
I don't think Mr. Netflix.
Netflix?
No.
Fuck you, Mr. Netflix.
So I guess, with that in mind, Gibby, let me ask you, is there a story that you wish made the grade in this film that you feel like didn't?
Oh yeah, several stories. might as well rehash one from our last screening. When we were living in Winterville, Georgia, one time I was walking into town to, we lived right outside of where?
Winterville, and it was a 4-hour walk to get into Athens.
Athens. And I was walking into Athens, Georgia from Winterville, and went over the railroad track into the cemetery, and there right at sunrise was a 74 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, and this big giant woman beside it taking a dump. And our eyes made contact right at the moment, and that was all fine and dandy. And we used to do funny things when we were bored. Like one time we bought this camera at Radio Shack, and you could see it on your television screen. You just back in the old days of UHF and VHF, you could, it was marvelous. You could move this camera around. So we hooked it up to our dog in the backyard just to see what he would do. And we would go inside the house and watch what our dog was doing. He'd look at the ground, look at the sky. So he started barking. And I'm sorry, Mark Farner. And she jumped over the fence, and we were gonna run and chase her, but we were like, no, we can just go watch her where she goes on the television set. And she ran immediately to our next door neighbor's backyard, and there was the woman that was taking a dump by the 72 Cougar Hill, giving a blowjob to our next door neighbor.
You know, that's something I'm sorry we didn't have time for, was a whole section about their dog, Mark Farner. Mark Farner was part of the band. Mark Farner was Paul's dog, named after the guitar player from Grand Trunk Railroad. But we had a whole section on her.
Gibby gave her the name. She came from the dog pound in San Antonio. She was really the band dog, but I ended up with her when it was all said and done. Gibby never forgave her for biting him that one time.
I wonder if we should have named her Mel Shocker. Don Brewer, Mel Shocker.
Is he the bass player?
Grand Funk Railroad.
Okay.
And there was another great story that we actually shot in a puppet show for them, but didn't have time for, where they, at their most whacked out, when they had their craziest looks, they went to a crab shack for a dinner, and the waitress came up and said, the cook says you guys are a band. What band are you? And Paul, what did you say?
I don't know what the fuck.
And Paul said, we're Journey. And then she went away and came back later and said, the cook says you're not Journey.
Paul, I'm curious about Texas, because I feel like Texas has so many like kind of out there interesting bands, going back to like Rocky Erickson and like, you know, the Big Boys and the New Guys and all that kind of stuff. What do you think it is about Texas that breeds kind of like an interesting band like that? Do you think it's because of the tour routing and all of that, or what do you think it is exactly?
And it's Willie Nelson's birthday today.
Yes!
Wow. 100 and what?
Great.
I don't know what it is about Texas, other than the fact that it wasn't California or New York. And California and New York had scenes, and you kind of, you know, were a thrash this way or a whatever that way. And Texas, there was just none of that. So you could be whatever the fuck you wanted to be. And they came up with some really cool bands. You know, Sticking In With Ray Guns was always one of my favorites, and nobody's ever heard them because they didn't do a whole lot of recording, and they didn't travel well.
Yeah, they have a bit of a renaissance lately, I think. And Cherubs, obviously.
The Stickmen are having a renaissance?
Yeah, there's a lot of those records are getting repressed.
Uh-huh.
And the Dicks.
Bobby Sox, oh my God, singer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
I saw that man.
So you were talking about puppet stuff earlier. Puppet stuff. That sounds a little dirty, but puppet stuff earlier. And from what I understand, there's a tie-in between all the puppet things that happen in the film and the California fires. From what I understand.
Well, yeah, I built a studio in my backyard. We shot all the puppet show stuff there. I had a house in Altadena, and then it burned down in the LA fires. So all the puppets and all the big paper mache globe and the miniature vans and all that stuff burned up, along with everything I ever owned. But we rallied because the same day, it was a crazy day, I got the email from South by Southwest saying, "We've accepted you, your Butthole Service film will be premiering at South by Southwest." I was so happy, and then 4 hours later, my house burned down. It's the ultimate good news, bad news day, but we rallied and we got love and sympathy because of that, and people donated their time. We remade the big planet Earth out of paper mache and repainted, got miniatures and shot those.
Tom says we a lot, but he should be saying I.
Well, not you guys, but
he was the driving force. He kicked ass. He should truly be celebrated.
so thank you, Gibby. But also I want to thank you. But also I've had incredible collaborators like Scott Evans, the editor, producer, Neil
Yeah.
Fella, producer, and Simon Weinstein, who are here tonight, my young co-writer. And we have great collaborators who help.
Great.
I forgot about that. The editors. Those guys are pretty.
They're important. Yeah. Scott came in like a hero. Hey, Scott,
But
say hi.
it's true that the
Hey.
Yeah,
What's that?
I'm just saying, laughing about the editing, but it's the truth. The editing made the story better than it was.
totally.
I'd like to open it up to the audience to see if the audience has any questions. Yeah, go ahead here.
So, what's the truth about the REM shit that you spray painted on the van? Because I've been hearing this story for years.
Other than it just never happened. The truth is that it was a story we told, and then all of a sudden people started believing it. And that's a bummer because from time to time, don't you think, have someone parked a van in front of your house with the letters with your name, despite the hype, they still want to suck your big? There would have been photographic evidence. Shame on you for believing it.
Well, when they used to do interviews back in the day, they would
Make up shit.
make up shit.
Like the story about the blowjob, total bullshit.
The story about me being important, bullshit.
Not really.
Editors, worthless.
Editors are key.
Did that Michael Stipe story ever get back to Michael Stipe?
I'm sure it did.
But you didn't hear about it.
I'm sorry, what?
But you didn't hear back about it, though.
No, I don't think that. What? Michael's an interesting man. And then I wouldn't know one thing about him. Other than he's interesting.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well, one time I said, hey, Mike, and I just radio silence. So evidently he did hear the story.
Right here.
I love that song "Holy Man," which is on a bootleg 7-inch. I don't think it ever came out on an actual record. Was that ever considered to? Did you guys ever consider putting that out in a studio recording?
I was just singing that in the shower the other day.
That was one of our very first songs, too.
Yeah, and one of the lyrics in it, Bobby Wilson Pickett walked into a convenience
Yes.
store, and Bobby Wilson Pickett was a guy in Dallas from my childhood memory, and he just killed somebody at a convenience store worker, and was put to death in the Texas system, but I don't know, something about that middle name. I don't know why Bobby Wilson Pickett lived with me for so long, but that's a good song. Poor Lee Harvey walking down the streets of Dallas.
Yes. Thought he was in a machine gun palace.
Remember the parade?
Yes, the time is here again. I
Yeah.
wonder who, where, when.
Yes.
What was that guy's name? Do you remember?
I don't remember his name, but that was
I
one
don't.
of the early mass shootings. You know.
Yeah, yes, it was, indeed. Yeah, it
Texas
seemed like there was a
pioneered
big
those.
long gap. After the Texas Tower, it was like 2 decades before they started really kicking it in.
Ahead of the curve.
Real quick, Tom, I was gonna ask you whether, you know, the interviews in this, feels like you got pretty much everybody that, was,
Except
A
Corey.
lot of them are dead now.
Oh yeah, tell that story, please.
yeah.
No, there's a curse. There's a curse behind this film.
Gibby thinks there's a curse. We did.
There is a curse.
Well, it may be a curse, or it may be the fact that, you know, a lot of principals are of a certain age, but a lot of people died that we interviewed, including, of course, Teresa and Craig, you know, King's husband, but also Steve Albini and Frank Kozik and Gary Floyd.
You're missing a big one.
Listen.
His son.
Well, oh God, I mean, this is a crazy story, but yeah, you know, our producer, Derek Rossi, got a very, I mean, you know, Rob Reiner, the last movie Rob and Michelle saw was this movie, because Rob and Michelle were friends of Derek's, and he wanted to see it, and Derek sent him a link, and then on Saturday, the day of Conan's party that he went to, he left a voicemail, like right before he went to Conan's party for Derek, which is, it's so crazy. You know, he was effusive. Him and Michelle were both like, "We love this. It's one of the best music docs ever." And Derek got it like 2 days later because he hadn't checked, and it was just such a fucking mind fuck of a, you know, like, wow, what an honor. That's amazing. But the most horrifying, grisly tragedy.
The stuff curses are made of.
Okay, perhaps, but that was crazy. Absolutely bananas. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Another, this guy right here.
How'd you get the Red Hook?
You go down. What are you talking about, Willis?
I don't know. I thought you lived down there.
Yeah, I live in Red Hook.
Yeah. How'd you get there?
Oh, good question. Wow. We were living on the in the LES, and my wife decided that Brooklyn was cooler than Manhattan, and she was right. And we moved nearby. We moved to President Street, and I could go on about that house, but yeah, we moved to President Street, and then down the block to Red Hook a couple of years later, after we had Satchel, our kiddo.
We're glad to have you.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, I love Brooklyn. I love New York, and I like the. Recently, I was come to observe in Brooklyn, it's balls. In Boston, it's balls. Half past a monkey's ass, a quarter to his balls. Come on. Thank you. Balls, balls.
Fools.
Balls. It's a Kennedy thing.
Wow.
Balls. Balls.
Well, I'm happy Gibby moved to Red Hook because it gave us great backgrounds.
Nice.
Statue of Liberty and the Lower Manhattan.
Got a question here, Tom, over there. Up front there. We sat there and up for a bit.
All right. Wow, way to go, Derek.
Person? Me.
All right.
Okay. It's kind of a two-parter.
Number one, is there a place that we
Yeah, no, you got it, yeah.
Yeah. Like more of Kathleen Lynch's work, because I'm a fan. I think we both are fans here. And secondarily,
Of
you
Kathleen?
know, perhaps if the answer is no, which I suspect it may be, you create a hub where all the artist's work can be accessed so we can see it and buy it, because as artists you were shafted out of a lot for a long time.
And she was a performance artist, and when the performance was over, that was it. But she was really spectacular as a
Oh,
performance
she
artist.
is.
She was in a band called Beanie Seed after
Beanie
that.
Seed.
Yeah.
Did at least 3 albums called. She put out at least 3 albums.
Yeah, we love Kathleen. Yeah, always.
And she
She's a
did,
great dear friend.
yeah, she had a couple, she did have a couple films and, that she made, and that would be a great thing. I mean, you know, I'll talk to her. I'll see if she.
The one anecdote that wasn't spoken of in the film was one time in her life she elected to not speak for a long ass time, and we're talking like 6 months into not saying a word. We were going to tour in Europe, and we wanted to see if Kathleen would go with us, and we were in Texas. She was in New York, so I called a friend. I was like, "Where's Kathleen?" Because we didn't have phones back in those days. And where's Kathleen? And she was like, "She's right here." I was like, "Wow, we want her. Put her on the line." And Cheryl, our friend, said, "Well, it's going to be difficult because she's not speaking." And so we managed to get her through customs and everything, and we were in Europe, and Teresa, we had a day off, and let's just call it Paris, why not? We had a day off in whatever, and Teresa, someone said, "Teresa, what are you going to do on your day off?" And she said, "I'm going to go," Madonna was playing in Europe, and Teresa said, "I'm going to go see Madonna." And at that moment, Kathleen broke her silence and said, "Madonna, oh!"
But the other great part of that is, before that, she had a little chalkboard, right, around her neck that she would reply to questions with. And you asked her, "Why aren't you talking for so long?" And what did she write on that little chalkboard?
I totally forgot.
Oh, she wrote.
I can't read.
She thought about it, and then she wrote, "It's hard to say."
Yes.
Wow. Back here.
Me? Okay, I have a lighthearted question, but first I'll just say I love the film and thank you for your vulnerability and huge hugs for all the loss. I've done a lot of loss in my life, we all have, so we love you guys. But here's my question, because you already answered one, which was, I noticed you included all the fur babies in all of the shots, and so you told me the name of one of the dogs, but I was looking at the credits and I'm not sure if I got all the names of all the fur babies, so I was just wondering, what are the names of all of the cats and the dogs and
White
sweethearts
Kitty.
that we
White
saw in
Kitty
the film?
is
Can you tell us about
Milo.
Milo. Sweet Milo.
Milo
No,
is
he's
like
not sweet.
Did Milo really run on that running thing?
Yeah, we
Yeah, a lot.
updated his treadmill. We got him a new and improved one.
Did he ever go fast enough to do a 360?
He's fast enough to put himself out and fly across the room.
I love Milo more.
And Gibby had a dog named Mr. Cigar for a long time, but
Paul had a cat named Mr. Cigar.
oh,
That's who I named Mr. Cigar after. And the great story of Mr. Cigar, the cat, was that he had a habit, and I've noticed it in other cats, in the middle of the night he'll bite you on your fucking toe really hard. And I think it happened more than once.
Oh yeah, I was awakened many times in the middle of the night by blood-curdling screams by my dad. He was sleeping with his foot hanging over the bed, and that cat would jump up there and just mauled his toe.
And then he'd run to the end of the hallway. And you know how furry creatures without any traction would get to the end of the hallway, and bam, hit the wall before he got to Paul's room.
Mr. Cigar died a really horrible death. It was sad. Got sick and started twitching, and it got worse and worse until he finally passed away, and then the twitching continued for 48 hours after that. It was gruesome.
God. Well, and I remember there were stories about your first band dog, which was Brown Dog, right? Teresa told a sad story about Brown Dog, and that she met her demise in Venice
In a parking
Beach.
lot
Well, they're in Southern California, at a beach.
Yeah.
in a parking lot, she got jumped out of my arms, and a car going too fast in the parking lot ran her over, and it was horrible.
She got tangled, like did in the wheel.
I wanted more like a memory that
That was a lighthearted question.
Sorry about that.
The Farmer was the best. We picked her up at a dog pound in San Antonio, and at first they wouldn't let us have her because the owners.
Who we were.
They had a policy where the owners had 3 days to come and claim her, and so we had to wait 3 days, even though the owners took her in and dropped her off there. We still had to wait 3 days, and we would go by it was real close to the recording studio where we recorded our first couple of albums. And so we'd go visit her every day with some treats. And so by the time they let her go with a rope leash and a rope collar, she knew who she belonged to, and she went straight from the dog pound into a van and hit the road for years. And she just loved the van, and she loved us, and we loved her. And I don't know if we would have made it without her.
Speaking of near the studio, there was a Vietnamese restaurant down the way from us that we called the Chain Ling, because we would go to their back door and they would cool their spring rolls after they deep fried them right by a chain link fence. And Teresa had small enough hands to reach through that chain link fence and pull them spring rolls out of there.
They were good.
Yeah, they really were. Those guys never knew what hit them.
Right here.
I think this probably targets more Gibby, but
This is Gray, by the way. That's his name.
what inspired you to make or like drove you to make the Gibby Haynes and His Problem album? And do you still think of let me know if I'm wrong, but do you still think of opening a bar called the Leatherfly?
Wow. Making a record, you just make whatever. I had nothing better to do. But the Leather Fly, that's interesting. The Viper Room would have been called the Leather Fly if not for the S&M-y feel that Leather Fly has. It was close. Johnny was on the edge, and it became Viper Room, sadly. So.
One over here, one over here.
Would I?
Will there ever be another
There you
Butthole
go.
Surfers show? Will there ever be another Butthole Surfers show?
No.
Paul.
You're watching it.
Come on, Paul, get a guitar.
So the last show was.
I still have post-traumatic stress syndrome from the whole experience, and I loved it all. It was so great, but the shotgun and the belching flames and all that. I mean, after a while, it kind of wrecks your nerves. And if somebody mentions, big money to play a show if you'll do it, and then I'm having nightmares for a week. It's awful.
For a while, he claimed it was Kathleen's bottom end hole that he kept on seeing on stage.
So the last show was in LA like a few months
At the
ago.
Egyptian.
Yeah, an Egyptian. Okay.
We're gonna play on 16th Street pretty soon,
Yes,
right?
you are. Yes, you are.
At the
When?
yeah, private residence owned by an mRNA pioneer.
Okay, I got two right beside each other.
I said I would kick myself if I didn't ask you about this. What is the story behind boiled dove?
Wow.
Can you repeat the question?
What is the story behind boiled dove?
You know, what is
It's just stupid words put together. There's just nothing.
Wicked ass
anything.
words.
We were really fond of, I was a really good making up band name guy. Like, band names were my specialty forever, you know. Do you guys do that? Like, you just be like 3 words, like, great name for a band. And then you're like, wow, great name for a band, great name for a band. What's the name of your band, son? Great name for a band. And it was that, it's like the time I came home and I said, Mom, good news, we changed the name of our band from the Butthole Surfers. And she was like, oh, thank God, son, what's the name of your band? Now it's called Shitting in Your Mother's Vagina.
And then she liked Butthole Surfers.
I like the other one, son.
So we have time for maybe 2 more.
Tumor?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Metastasize.
Any other
I
questions?
like that. Cancer humor. Love it.
No, he skipped over one album. And really, I just want to ask, how are you supposed to pronounce it?
P.O.'d.
And that literally threw a dirty sock at a QWERTY keyboard, and that's what came up on the screen. Straight up.
True story.
True that.
What was the question?
We had an album spelled P-I-O-U-G.
H-D.
See, we can't even. A mysteriously spelled and unpronounceable album title that was created by throwing a dirty sock at a QWERTY keyboard.
We were full of bad ideas, and by doing an album, instead of putting the names of the songs on the album, we drew little pictures. And, you know, it's all funny, but then you gotta register those songs to collect any money off of them. Horse with erection urinating.
That's young songwriters. Ye take alert.
Any last questions here? Any other questions?
Oh, come on. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, it was hilarious. How often did you find yourself so fucked up you actually weren't able to play? Did that happen very often? Talking way back, right?
Never.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
The only problem was not being fucked up enough.
Man, we've never not showed up for a show. We never, well,
Except for Cleveland. We showed up a day late because we didn't know the day of the show, and we found out that,
I know, the band that played one is like an 80s synth pop, a weird one.
yeah, no, it was weirder than that.
That's another good story, which I will tell after Paul.
I want to tell the replacement story.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, we were in Nitehawk and we were poor and we had a show at, was it City Garden or one of those places across?
City Gardens. City Gardens, yeah.
Yeah, and they hired us to come play a show, and we spent our bottom dollar to rent a U-Haul trailer to bring our gear to this show. And we pulled up to the building, and our name was not on the marquee; it was the Replacements. We got replaced by the Replacements. They wouldn't even let us open for the Replacements.
But they did eventually. We played that night. We just didn't get paid.
I was close to remembering the name of that band that.
I think you had Johnsons.
Everybody.
The band was the
Somebody here did.
Johnsons.
No.
Everybody wearing John?
Johnson's.
Okay, last question here.
Who's the bigger Donovan fan? Because you've done a couple covers of them, and it's just an interesting one for y'all. I'm not complaining. I love them.
We might have to compete over that one. 'Cause I was pretty big on Donovan when I first heard him as a grade schooler, and the Hurdy Gurdy Man came on, and that savage guitar riff that comes in, and that fucked me up good.
I do know that a rock journalist, dear friend of ours, Charles M. Young, asked Donovan how he felt about our fascination with Donovan, and Donovan was not a fan.
Amazing.
We've got fucking Jim Jarmusch in the audience tonight.
Yeah, man.
And
Eric Andre.
Eric Andre's here.
Where?
I know. Dude, he's bigger than I thought. He's a lot beefier.
Don't leave the building until I say
It's
hi.
not that he's fat or anything, he's bigger up top. He's pumped. Freaking me out.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Kramer's here too.
Kramer! Kramer's here.
Kramer's always here.
Kramer. Oh, Kramer.
Yes. Kramer, did you believe the Michael Stipe story? Because you're the one that told it. He believes. He was credulous.
Well, thanks again for coming to the dock. This was absolutely amazing. Thanks everyone. Have a great night.
Okay, hold on, one more. I've been to these things before, and I really regret not asking a question.
Oh.
I wish I had asked them. Oh well.
What is it? What's your question?
Right here. One up there. About the
Do you have a
MTV.
question?
There's one you recorded. The original MTV thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
At one time, we were the most played band on MTV because they played us 4 times on the hour or whatever.
That was you?
Not the original version, but you know, after they started using it, they sent some producer from England to our house in Driftwood, Texas, and we recorded a version, and they played the shit out of it.
Oh, wow. Where can we hear that? I didn't know that. So maybe it's on YouTube. Butthole Surfers MTV theme.
There's another story I wish had been told about us, that Paul was a person of interest in a disappearance in southwestern Canada. Royal Mounted Police came to his house on 3 occasions because they thought that maybe Paul might have had something to do with the death of a 18-year-old boy.
Pretty devastating, you know, to have some guy disappear at your show. I mean, that's reason to stop doing what you're doing, because that's not what we do this for, is to have kids die, and then to be suspected to be, you know, directly involved was really weird, and I never found out why me of all anybody in the band. I don't remember if I talked to the guy or
a couple of years later, the corpse of an orca whale washed up onto the seashore, and they found the tennis shoe. And so, it was a theory that was rolling around at the time, but the Paul Walthall one was a lot more believable.
Well, the other one was we played this horrible show in Corpus Christi, Texas, where Gibby started making fun of Selena, who was a big Latino star that got murdered by her manager, and it was too soon. And people started pelting Gibby with everything from beer cans to wristwatches, and wristwatch hit Gibby and cut his hand pretty good, and so he really went off, and it was literally a fist fight between Gibby and the audience, and Gibby won the fist fight. Wow.
Well, and then there was a lawsuit that followed, and I knew some personal information about this kid that claimed to have had a head injury, a traumatic head injury, and
It started out, I got a call on like Christmas Eve that a kid died at the show. And that ruined Christmas, and it was horrible, and there was gonna be depositions and lawsuits, and we prepared ourselves, and turns out, no, he didn't die, he's just a vegetable in a diaper, and his parents have to change his diaper, and that's not any better, really.
No.
And then as the story progressed, no, he's not in a diaper, he's not in a in fact, they gave him IQ test or whatever before and after the injury he sustained, and he did better after the injury.
And in deposition, I brought that up to the lawyers. I said, after his head injury, he made way better grades, and their clever lawyer says, just think how much better it would have been if you hadn't have broken his mind or whatever we were accused of. That was poor delivery.
The whole
I
basis
can tell that story a lot
he
better.
had taken ecstasy before the show and got tossed up in the air on a blanket and missed the blanket coming down and hit the ground, and he went to the medical tent with blood coming out of his ear.
Which is a bad sign.
And then it turned, they gave him a brain scan, and the brain scan showed traumatic brain injury. But then it turns out that ecstasy, when you take ecstasy and get a brain scan, it shows up as traumatic brain injury. By that point, I wanted to kill the guy. I wanted to fucking kill him with my bare hands, because that wrecked months of our lives.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Time to go.
Thank you, everyone. Look at the merch table. One of these great shirts, or poster by great artist Johnny Ryan.
Yeah, man.
You can stay.